Hello friends, and welcome to another craft fair series video. If you're new, my name is Amber and this is my craft fair series for 2024, and I am working on all of the projects that I'm going to be selling in my upcoming craft fairs this fall. So if you missed the first 3 videos and those ideas, I'll have the playlist linked below. But this one is my favorite so far. I am so excited about these little journals or albums. You can call them whatever you want, but these were so easy to put together and so much fun to decorate, and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do and everything you need to make these. This was so much fun, and these are my no-sew journals or little mini Christmas albums, whatever you want to call them is fine. So let me go ahead and show you what we're going to be making, and then we'll get started on the tutorial. So I'm going to do a flip through of just 3 of them. So I'm going to choose one from each of the paper collections that I used. So let me show you the paper collections that I used on this. So for this middle one right here, I used the Prima Candy Cane Lane collection. For this cute whimsical one here, I used the Christmas Town collection by Doodlebug. And for this one right here, I used the Santa's Village collection by Simple Stories. And this is a way for you to not have to glue one of the sides down, and you can still see both sides of the paper in every single page. So first I'm going to flip through this one, the Simple Stories collection, and it is the cutest little thing. So in the tutorial I explained how I just follow a formula. I created one and then I followed the same formula for each of the other ones and kind of set up like an assembly line situation with all my embellishments, paper clips, everything I needed, and then I just put them together following my own formula. So I'll explain that more in the tutorial. But this is the cute Simple Stories one, and I just added chipboard to the cover, and I tucked a little die cut in, and I used enamel dots, and all of them have a little sentiment on the bottom. So then when you open it up, it has a ton of goodies in here. So putting the actual base of the album together takes like no time at all. I actually wanted to design this so it was like a junk journal, and there was a ton of clipped in goodies and things tucked in the pockets. Here I just have a cute double-sided journaling card, a nice tag, and a cute little 2x2 image. And that's just tucked under this rose gold paper clip. And then over here, here's the next page. And over here, I won't take it out, but there's a little 25-cent ticket stub and a journaling card. And then you can like remove that and put photos under here. And then I just tied some cute seam binding to the paper clip so it hangs off the side. So the next page I have tucked in some die cuts from the collection. They're super cute. And then over here is a little half page, and I show you exactly how to put that in. It's super easy. And I have just a journaling card and a joy sentiment, and then another 25-cent on this mint green ticket stub. Over here I have another little 25-cent ticket stub and a tag, and this half page is perfect for another photo. And then this is our middle pocket page. So in here it's a top loading pocket and a small pocket down here. So down here I used some of the scraps of the paper and I made my own little 3x4 card. And then I put a tag in there and this cute journal card from the collection. And it's all double-sided. So those just get tucked back into that little pocket. And then up here is a big tag that I used using the scraps from the paper. And it's double-sided and it has a bunch of beautiful seam binding from MyScrapcabinShop on Etsy. And you know I'll link that shop below. She has the best seam binding. So that just gets tucked into the top loading pocket, and it adds such a cute little touch to the top of the album. So then this flips over and there's pockets on this side. So I have another tag that I made, and I just set it with an eyelet and I put some more seam binding through there, and I have a little journal card right here tucked in with it, and I tucked that into the small pocket. And then I just added some more seam binding in a little bow on top. Over here is the other side of that half flip page, and I just tucked in a really big die cut right there. on this cute chubby paper clip. And then a journal card and another cute die cut. And then over here we have another paper clip, and it's a red striped one, and I put some ribbon on it right here. And then I just tucked in a journal card and another die cut. And when you flip that page over, you have a tag and another journaling card. And these tags are really cute because you can journal on the back of them. So over here is the back inside cover, and I just put tons of goodies under here. I cut this out of the scraps of the paper and then put a little stitched journal card in there. That's from the die cut set. And then here's a little tag that I stuck in there. And then I just used another one of those rose gold paper clips that I got from Dollar Tree. And then here is the back. So this is super easy. You would never believe how easy this is to make, and it makes such a cute little mini junk journal. So here's the other 3 that I made out of that Simple Stories collection, and I'll just give you a quick little peek, but you can see they're all full of goodies. So next I'm going to flip through this really cute one that I made from the Doodlebug collection. So on all of those I had a bunch of those doodle pops, and I'll show you what they look like. They come in a little package like this, and I had like 20 of them because I bought them in a set like last Christmas, so I had like 20 doodle pops. So I used a doodle pop on the cover of each one, and of course I added my little pom-pom trim. Here's my sentiment, my little enamel dots, and my die cut clip tucked under the paper clip, just like on the other one. Here's the other 3 I made with that collection. Okay, so this one is made using the Prima Candy Cane Lane collection, and it's super cute. I love the chipboard piece. It's kind of vintagey, and these jewels came with it, so I just glued them down. And I added stuff that I had from this paper collection. So they had beautiful die cuts that came with it, and I made a little flip out tag, and I just put another journaling card in there. So that's all clipped on the inside cover. And then that bow right there is a die cut that I slipped under the paper clip. Then over here is just a beautiful this one. So here's a quick flip. So this is the paper collection that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to use up the whole entire thing. It's a brand new collection this year, Santa's Village, and it's by Simple Stories, and I will link it below. And then of course I have all the goodies that we're going to clip in, and we're going to do cut aparts, and I'm going to use the chipboard sheet right here for the cover. So these collections, they come with 12 sheets of double-sided paper and a sticker sheet. And if you know Simple Stories, you know that they love a cut apart sheet. So it's looking really good. We can use all of these for the pages. Here is a really cute cut apart sheet for tags. So I'll stick that aside, and it's double-sided. And oh my gosh, I love this. It's a bunch of journaling spots. Oh, look at the back too. So pretty. And then the gorgeous cut-apart sheet with the 3x4 cards. I am in love with this collection. Oh my goodness. Here's another cut-apart sheet. See, I told you with Simple Stories, they have a ton of cut-aparts. So this is good because we can use all of these to clip into our little albums. Here's the cute sticker sheet. This might be my new favorite Christmas collection. It's so cute. So we're gonna cut all our paper down together, but I'm gonna tell you up front what the measurements are just in case you wanna get a head start. But I am gonna show you how best to cut them down so you can use the scraps for the things that we tuck into the journals. So for one of these little albums, you're gonna need 2 pieces that measure 6 by 9, 1 piece that measures 8 by 8, and 1 piece that measures 4 by 9. Okay, so we're working with 7 sheets here. Let's see what we can get out of this. So first of all, I'm gonna cut down my 6 by 9, and you always wanna put it in so the left is at the left, right is at the right, top at the top, bottom at the bottom, because you wanna make your 9-inch cut first, because we're gonna need the scrap that you cut off. So I'm gonna put this in here on the 9-inch, and I'm gonna cut that off. And this scrap right here is gonna turn into 2 tags. This measures 12 by 3. So I'm gonna stick this aside, and we're gonna need this later. So now that we have this 9-inch cut, you're gonna turn this and just cut it into 2 6-inch strips. So that second cut was just to take off the branding strip. Okay, so now out of one of those 12 by 12s, we have 2 pieces that measure 6 by 9, and then your scrap that measures 3 by 12. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. I'm gonna put it in at 9 inches so that it's right side up, everything's right side up. And I'm gonna cut this at 9 inches, save our little scrap, and then cut this to 2 6-inch strips. So the reason we're cutting multiple pieces is so you can mix and match for all of your albums, so you don't have a repeating pattern. And that's what I love most about this. You can use a collection because you know everything complements each other, all the patterns do, and you can mix and match for your pages. So we have 2 more 6 by 9 pieces. Okay, so now we need to cut down our 8 by 8 pieces because those are gonna be for the pockets, the little pocket page in the middle of the journal. You do have one that has a direction like this one. What you're gonna wanna do to cut your 8 by 8 is you're gonna stick it in sideways first. That's how you're gonna make your first cut. So I'm gonna stick this in to where the top is at the right, bottom is at the left, and I'm gonna cut this down to 8 inches. So this right here is why we did it that way. We need this piece to measure 9 by 4, and it's gonna be one of the pages like this, so we want the trees to be the correct way. So we're gonna cut this down in a minute, but just stick that scrap aside, and you've made your 8-inch cut, and then just turn it this way, and do another 8. So you have an 8 by 8 piece. So here's your 8 by 8 piece. And then you have the scrap, which you're gonna put aside. You're gonna bring in this piece that we just cut, and you're gonna cut this down to 9 inches. Save that too. By 4. It's already 4 inches, but I'm just gonna cut the branding strip off. So now you have a piece that measures 8 by 8 and 4 by 9. So let's do our next one. We're gonna cut this down to 8 inches. Save our little scrap by 8. So I'm going to put that scrap aside. Here's our 8 by 8 piece. And then I'm going to cut this one down to 9 for our 9 by 4 piece. There's another pair there. And then I'm going to cut this one down the exact same way. So we have enough for 3 albums right now. And then I still have this 12 by 12 right here. So what I could do is just bring in like another sheet from another collection. I could take one of my cut apart sheets and borrow that and use it and cut it down and not use it as cut aparts, although I really can't bear that. I need to cut those apart. I think they're so adorable. So I actually ordered a couple extra sheets from this collection, and because I was in love with this page right here, I ordered it. So I'm gonna pull this in, and I'm sure you could do the same with any collection. A lot of these kind of just go together anyways, but I happen to have one extra sheet from this collection, so we're gonna be able to make 4 of these journals with a collection pack. So I'm gonna cut this one down to the 2 9x6. So let me do my 9-inch cut first. These were like the little pieces that we cut off the bottom of the 8 by 8 cut. So I need 4 pieces that measure 2 by 6 because that's going to be for our spine, and I'll show you what that looks like. So that's going to be for this little spine piece right here. So I'm just going to pick a few of these and I'm going to cut them down to 2 by 6. So here's a 2 by 6, and I'm just going to use the other piece that I cut off for the other side, and it's already going to be at 2 inches, and then I'm just going to cut it down to 6 just like the other one. So I've got 2 and I just need 2 more. So I think I'm going to use this one. I have 4 pieces that measure 2 by 6. So now I'm bringing in the scraps that measure 3 by 12, and we're gonna just cut these down to 2 3 by 6 inch pieces. So all we need to do is put this in and cut it down to 6, and then cut off that branding strip, which would be at 6. So this is gonna come up with 2 tags with different patterns because they're double-sided. So in case I didn't already mention this, this is the perfect project for double-sided paper. After we cut all those down, it gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these cute 3 by 6 tags. So there's 8 here, so that means 2 for each album. And then these are the scraps you're gonna have left over after everything we cut. So you have these little ones here. And of course these are little squares that we cut off the spine pieces. Another one of those, and then you have 2 that measure 4 by 8. So with the 2 that measure 4 by 8, I'm going to just cut these in half and make 4 pieces that measure 4 by 4. So just put them in long ways like this and cut it at 4 inches. So now we have 4 4 by 4 pieces. So stick those aside, and then bring in your little pieces that look like this, because these we cut off as well. And I would leave the little top part, which is super cute, but the branding strip shows on the back. So these are gonna be cut down to 4 inches. And this ends up being the perfect little 3x4 card. Now we have 4 pieces that measure 3x4, and all these are just going to be used in the album, and we can even use these cute little squares somehow. So there's 4 of those left as well. So we've used all of the 12x12 pieces, and we're going to utilize all of this in our cute albums. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down all of our beautiful cut aparts. Okay, so I'm back. I've cut apart all of the cute cut apart sheets, and I have everything ready to go. So here's my biggest tip for this project, and really for all your craft fair projects. It's good to do an assembly line style, but for this particular project, what I did is I followed a pattern, and I followed a formula that I created. So what I did is I created my first journal, and I clipped things in where I wanted them, how I thought it looked good. And then what I did is I followed that exact formula for all the others. So when I made my second one, it was gonna have all different patterns and designs, but I was able to use the formula. So I knew clip in the folded tag with a large die cut, white paper clip, then clip in a die cut on the front, next page, clip in a journal card with a ticket stub, and do your little seam binding paper clip. Next page, tuck a die cut underneath. Then do your word, your ticket with a gold paper clip. And so what I did is I kept just referring back to the same formula that I created in the first journal, and I was able to do these so fast, and I followed the same style, but of course they all look so different because of the patterns of the paper. So that's what we're gonna do here, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. So first let's work with the 6x9 pieces. So I'm gonna lay out my 4 albums here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I've got the 4 stacks going here, and now I need to choose a pocket page for each one. And then we're gonna do our little flippy page for each one. So for the spine pieces, I'm gonna wait to separate these to see which of these pages I'm gonna use for the cover and which of these best goes with it. So I'm gonna just stick these aside. Now I can separate the tags out. These are the 3x6 tags, and each of these gets 2 tags. So I've put all except one pile aside because I'm going to show you how to assemble this. And for all the cut aparts that we did, I'm going to stick them in this tray so I can pull from here along with our little spines. So I'm just going to stick that aside. We're also going to put aside the little 2x2, the 3x4, the 4x4, and then the 2 tags. We're going to put those aside also. And we're just going to work with our page pieces so I can show you how easy it is to put this together. So what you end up with to assemble one of these is 2 pieces that measure 6x9, 1 piece that measures 8x8, one piece that measures 4 by 9, and then you're gonna need a spine piece that measures 2 by 6. So starting out with our 6 by 9 pieces, you're gonna score these the exact same way for each of these. It's in here on the 9-inch side, and you're gonna score this at 4, 4.5, and 5. So be careful not to push too hard and rip your paper. We're gonna do the same for this one. Score at 4, 4.5, and 5. Then you're gonna take your little piece that measures 4 by 9, and you're gonna do the exact same score lines. You're gonna do 4, 4.5, and 5. And for your piece that measures 8 by 8, if yours has a pattern that needs to go a certain way, just make sure that you are top at the top, bottom at the bottom. And you're gonna score this right down the middle at 4 inches. Then you're gonna turn it so the bottom is now at the left, and you're gonna score in at 2 inches. So we have all of our pieces scored now, and now you're gonna decide what of these 2 sheets you want to be the cover of your album. So before I do any folding, I'm just gonna stack these together and round my corners. And I'm just using my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper, and I'm just using the 1/4 inch rounding side, and it just gives it a nice rounded corner and a finished look. I think I want the cute Santas to be my cover. So because I want those to be the cover, the Santas are gonna be facing up, and I'm gonna find the middle score line, which is the 4.5, because we did 4, 4.5, and 5, and 4.5 is the middle, so I'm just gonna fold that over, gently press it down with my bone folder, and then there's gonna be the score lines on either side. So if you can see that, there's still a score line there, and there. So you're just gonna take and fold back on those score lines just like this. So I folded back on that one, and then I'm gonna turn this over, and I'm gonna fold back on that score line. So now you've created this little shape like this, to where there's a valley right here, and the peak is in the middle. So just stick that aside, and I folded this one up the same way. So I folded it in the middle on that 4.5 inch score line, and then I just folded each one back on those other score lines. So we have the exact same thing. And now this valley right here that we created is gonna go right over that peak, and it's gonna get sandwiched just like this. I'm gonna put those aside, and I'm gonna bring in the little 4 by 9 piece, and we're going to fold this the exact same way. And this one also just goes right like this. So we also want to round the corners on this. So I'm just gonna take my little corner chomper and round all those corners. Let's go ahead and get our pocket page ready. So I want this side to show the most. So what I'm gonna do is just fold this in half on our score line, then unfold it, and then fold that little 2 inch score line up like this. Because then what you're going to do is just fold it in half this way, and take your bone folder, since it's several layers of paper here. And this cute little double-sided pocket with a pocket up here is gonna be sandwiched right over our peak to cover that up, and it's gonna create a little pocket page in the middle. So I'm just taking my 1 inch circle punch, and then you don't go through both layers of the paper. You're just gonna go through the first layer, and then just eyeball that center about 1/3 to halfway down, and just cut a half circle, see? So now you can see the cute red paper back there. Then to get this more prepped, you're just gonna kind of open it back up, and I just need to glue these 2 sides down so they do create that pocket. And I'm using wet glue. This glue is so good, and I just filled it in these little precision bottles with the stainless steel tip, so that way the glue doesn't ever get clogged, and it's easy. So this is my little precision bottle, and I've shown these on my channel before, and I just filled it up with this wet glue, and this dries clear and it sticks so good. So I'm going to link this glue below because we're going to be using it a lot in this album. So I'm going to just do a light bead on the side to glue those pockets in. So while that's drying, we're gonna bring our album pages in and we're just gonna assemble these, and it's so easy, you guys. So the very first thing that I do with these is I get my cover page and I turn it over to where the valley is. And I'm gonna just glue that valley together. You can use any glue you have. You can use the wet glue here still. I'm just gonna use a piece of score tape because we just need one strip right next to that score line on one side. You don't need it on both sides. Just to glue this little valley together. Just taking the valley and I'm just pinching this together and gluing it down. And you're just gonna do that with this page, just the cover page. So then when you open it, it leaves us with this hinge right here. And that's where you're gonna adhere all your paper. And you're gonna take your next piece, which is this one, and you're gonna take the valley and stick it right over that hinge. But before we do that, you're just going to take your wet glue, and the reason we're using wet glue here is so you have time to line this up, plus this glue holds really well. So I'm just gonna take my wet glue and I'm gonna cover it with a light bead on both of those sides of the valley. So I'm going to show you. I'm just going to add it with my wet glue so you can see I've added glue on both sides. And now I'm just going to take that and adhere it right over that hinge and then just line it up, make sure it's straight. And then you're just going to pinch the middle because that's going to glue it down. See? So now it's all one hinge. You're going to glue it down. And that glue, I'm telling you, that glue is so strong, it's not going anywhere. So now let me show you what we have so far. So now we have our cover page, and then we've glued in that page. You're not losing any sides of the paper. Now in the middle, you have another hinge right here, ready for more paper to be adhered. And then you've got that and this. So you can keep adding more pages, just depending how many you want. But I wanted to keep this pretty simple, and we're gonna decorate it and make it all cute. So now you're gonna take your little mini page and stick it right here. But of course, turn it around and add glue to your valley. So you're gonna add it to both sides. I'm just gonna stick that right where I want it in the center. And again, just turn it this way and then just pinch that hinge to make sure the glue adheres really well. So now we have all of our pages in there. And we still have a hinge in the middle to add more paper, but I want to close that up now because I don't want this just like chilling, hanging out in our album. So that's where this cute pocket comes in, where it's gonna go right over the hinge and hide it, and it becomes a cute pocket page in our album. I'm just gonna round these two corners right here because they're gonna match up with these corners. I'm gonna actually take my album and I'm gonna put glue on both sides of the hinge. So I put glue on that side of the hinge and on that side. And on the open side, I'm just going to sandwich that right over our hinge. And same thing, just grab it and make it straight, and the wet glue allows you to move it around for a little bit. But what I like to do is just kind of lay it down like this and just press it down and then bring it over this way and do the same thing. Press that down. So this wet glue is like my best friend in this project. It's super cute. And The last thing you just need to do on the pocket is just glue the bottom shut. Okay, so our cute little album is almost completely constructed. So here is a flip through. Isn't it adorable? Here's our cute pocket page. And so there it is. And you can add, again, so many more pages if you want. So now I'm gonna take my 4 spine pieces and just decide which one looks best. And I think definitely I'm gonna use the red polka dot for the spine. So what I do for this is I turn it over to the back because I'm going to use the polka dot side. So this is the back. And you can use wet glue for this if that's what you're going to be using for this album. But I'm going to use score tape. And I'm just going to add 1/2 inch of adhesive on both edges. So this is 1/4 inch score tape. So what I'm going to do is just add 2 strips of score tape on either side. Just like that, and then flip it like this. And what you're doing is you're leaving that middle part free of glue because it'll give the album more flexibility and it'll allow it to lay flat, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like. So now my spine piece is ready to glue down, and so I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to line this up wherever I want it on the front cover. So I usually go about halfway. You don't have to, you can do more on the back, but I like to just line this up to where I think it looks good on the front cover. And just kind of lightly just set it down when you think you like it, and just flip it over to make sure it is straight. So that looks pretty straight. So just kind of press it down and then flip it over. This is the back now of the album, and you're just going to carefully kind of work that and bend it over and glue it down. And this is really satisfying because you have that strong score tape, and now you're just going to burnish that down with your bone folder. Make sure you get it really good, especially this edge right here and the bottom and the top. And you got your spine piece. And it looks adorable. So look at how this is with the spine piece. The album still lays flat, perfectly flat. There's no obstruction. And you've got a cute little journal here. So now comes the fun part. We get to decorate this. Okay, so before I start to decorate this cute little album, I'm going to make the other 3 the exact same way with our piles that we had. I'll be right back to show you how they turned out, and then we're gonna start decorating these. Okay, you guys, so I got all 4 of these done, and they turned out super cute. They were so quick and easy to put together. And I'm just gonna do a quick little flip for you guys. I think they turned out so adorable. Those are the 3 I made off camera. Here's the one we made together. So now I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I decorate this. So I've pulled some things to decorate this, and I have 4 of these for the rest of the albums. So that way I have everything ready and it'll go super fast. So the first thing I want to do is the cover. And for the cover, I want to add some trim right here. So I have this pom-pom trim, and you can get this at any craft store. Here's the one I have right here. You can use a hot glue gun if you want, but what I do is this wet glue right here would work perfectly on its own, but I'm going to go ahead and just make it extra secure and add a strip of adhesive. I'm using the score tape right where I want to lay it down. I'm actually going to use both this and the wet glue. So that way I know it's really, really strong and it's not going to come up. So you can also use Fabri-Tac for this. That's super strong glue as well. And so then I'm going to take my wet glue and I'm just going to put a little bit right over the score tape. So we're using both the score tape and wet glue. Then I'm just gonna lay this trim down, and it's super cute and it's whimsical and it just gives it a cute touch to the album. The next thing I'm going to do is choose one of the chipboard pieces to be like the focal point on the front. So I think for this one I'm going to use the Santa chipboard. So these have stickiness, they're stickers, but I don't think that's enough adhesive. So I'm going to also add some wet glue to make this permanent. So I'm just going to try and center this. So I got that right on the cover. I think this is absolutely adorable. This paper is so pretty. Okay, so now we got our Santa guy on there. And down here I want to add a sentiment. So I chose this one, but I'm gonna have to cut it a little bit. So I think what I'm gonna do, unfortunately, is cut off the cute little Santa, because we have enough Santas on ours. So I'm gonna just cut that off, but I will save it. And I kind of just cut that at an angle, and let's see if that fits now. And I can angle it like that, so it looks really cute now. So I'm going to glue that down. So I'm going to show you kind of what process I'm following. So on these covers I had like a focal point, a little word sentiment down here, and then I did some of these little enamel dots, and I clipped a die cut up here, which you'll see in a second. But I'm kind of following the same formula. And so I'm just going to glue this down. little mini journal, and it's super cute and embellished on the front. We've got all the elements from the collection layered and tucked in with paper clips, and just some cute little touches here. I'm not going to take everything out because you just saw us put it in there. Here's another cute layered flip page, front and the back. And then we've got 3 items in this pocket down here, and then of course our beautiful tag with the seam binding that fits perfectly into that pocket. And then our pocket back here with another beautiful tag. And our cute flip page layered up with some goodies. And then another page with our beautiful adorned paper clip and some more die cuts and journal cards on the front and the back. And then of course the back with all of our layers as well. Didn't it turn out super cute? I love it. So now I'm going to take the rest of these and I'm going to use this as a guide and fill these up with their goodies. Okay, so I finished the last 3, and I did a flip through already in the beginning of the video of these. Here's the one we made together. So I thought long and hard on the pricing for these, but I ultimately decided that I'm going to be selling these at my craft fair for $15. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it took a little bit longer for me to get out, but between work and coming home and trying to create all these, and I wanted to do a full tutorial for you guys, it took a little bit longer. So I hope that you will go and give this a try. Get out your double-sided paper, make a bunch of these, whether it be for craft fairs or gifts, swaps, whatever. Make it your own and use whatever paper you want. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll be back in the next few days with my next craft fair video. My sister's coming over tomorrow to help me finalize that one, and I can't wait to share it with you. Give this one a try, everyone. Thanks again for watching.